last month, but he wasn't quite as good there last time when hanging quite a bit to the right. Still wasn't too bad, and in the context of this race, both those good runs give him strong claims. Okay, behind him is number 2, that's Unification, bidding to give Ross Orion a quick double here. Didn't quite manage to catch up with him, unfortunately, after he rode Jesse Luke to victory. This one is probably a little bit up against it on what we've seen recently. Not gone close for either James Owen or Phil McEntee so far, and was last of 10 earlier this month. Behind him is number 6, that's Phoenix, who won a brace in the summer on the turf last year and is now £2 higher than for the most recent of those, but his recent form doesn't give too much to shout about, and having been tried over a mile and a quarter at Lingfield last time, he steps right back up in trip now. Right, it's a fair way back to the next horse, who is the top weight Vitruvian Dawn, the filly, daughter of Study of Man, who showed little in qualifying runs and was tailed off on handicap debut over a mile and a half, when admittedly she was hampered 2 furlongs from home, but on what we've seen so far, and coming from stall 11, she's going to have to buck up her ideas a bit to get competitive here. But she is lightly raced, and she sneaks into this grade. Draw back for number 4, that is Virtual Hug, a winner at Wolverhampton in April, and apart from a couple of outings at Bath and one at Haydock, he's been kept to that track ever since. Never run here, so has a bit to prove on Polytrack, but is proven over this far, which is good. Likely has to pull out a bit more than his recent efforts if he's going to win this. They're all in a bit of a traffic jam here. And we're going to pick up number 14 next. That's Rogue Raider, definitely up against it, 0 from 12 so far, and beaten over 10 lengths on his last couple of outings. Needs a big turnaround. Behind that one is number 10, that's Mapogo, who is 0 from 16 so far, and well beaten in all his 9 outings, or his last 9 outings, I should say, recently. So another one, he really needs an overhaul in his form. And we're going to pick up number 9 next, that's the Resdev Way, who was a winner over this distance at Wolverhampton in November, and was only beaten a length there over a mile and a half in January, but he was beaten 24 lengths last time, having stopped quickly at Southall, and can't really be followed with too much confidence after that. And finally, the one behind that is Chelsea Banham's contender, that is Majim, who is 1 from 19, with his only victory coming in February 2022. He was beaten comprehensively in his last 3 outings, but did make a little bit of headway last time and has dropped to a decent mark. So potential that Majim can get involved from a decent draw in stall 3. Runners about to get on their mounts for this 4th race on the card, in which there aren't too many informed contenders, but certainly Zooks and Smokey Malone both fit that bill. Not really, actually, Anthony, given the fact that she's found it quite difficult to get her head in front so far. And I'd be keener on Smokey Malone, I think, at the prices. I think it is between the two of them. I know this looks a lot more competitive as far as the market's concerned and on possibly what you guys have been saying. But I do think it's between the two of those, at least in what we've seen recently. There are a couple in here like this time, maybe Phoenix and Marjim, who could potentially rediscover some form or indeed have dropped to a decent mark and therefore might show something a little bit more. But as far as what we've seen of late, I'm going to go with Smokey Malone, as we see Unification going into the stalls is the last one. Here's Alan once again.
And they're off. Runners race away. It's 1 mile, 5.5 furlongs ahead of them for the Bet Boost at Bet365 handicap stakes, and it's Reason to Pass. That's the first one to show, leading for Unification in maroon and light blue. Then Vitruvian Dawn, who settles in third in black and yellow. Virtual Hug racing to the inside of Zooks are the next pair. And the two greys are together as they work around the bend. Mapogo with Smokey Malone, the green and white colours on that one's inside. And then came Rogue Raider from Phoenix, the Resdev Way, Marjim and the back marker, this time maybe in the green and yellow with the white cap, as the leader's gone absolutely blazing away up top. Reason to Pass has pulled away by a good 10 to 12 lengths up the home straight for the first time. Under Charlie Bishop, then it's Reason to Pass, well on top of the field early on. From in second, Unification, then Vitruvian Dawn in those black and yellow silks, closely attended to then by Zooks with that white cap. Virtual Hug is on that one's inside in the maroon. Then Mapogo racing to the outer of Smokey Malone, followed by Phoenix in the blue and white. Then Rogue Raider in the pink and dark blue starred silks. Marjim with a couple of horses behind. The veteran, the Resdev Way, is second to last, and this time maybe the back marker under Tyler Hurd as they turn to go off into the back straight, and the leader still well clear at this point, probably the best part of 10 lengths in front. Reason to Pass. So Reason to Pass, well on top of the field at this point. Over in second, Unification under double seeking Rossa Ryan. Turning to go inside the final 5.5 furlongs. Vitruvian Dawn is next. Then Mapogo, and to the inside of him is Virtual Hug. Next is Zooks, and then Phoenix. Behind Phoenix is Smokey Malone. Then racing Marjim, the Resdev Way, and this time maybe is still the trailer. Leader not so far clear now, but it's Reason to Pass who heads off down towards the final half mile, still with the advantage of about 5 lengths. Over in second, Unification, Vitruvian Dawn third at the far bend. Then Virtual Hug, Mapogo, Zooks and Phoenix ahead of Smokey Malone, Marjim and Rogue Raider. Then the Resdev Way, and this time maybe yet to get out of the final position. Reason to Pass has now been headed by Unification. Unification went into the lead. Here comes Zooks with a big move to the outside, travelling strongly. It would appear at the top of the home straight. Then Virtual Hug, Smokey Malone and Vitruvian Dawn. The Resdev Way and Marjim are trying to stay on a bit as they run towards the final furlong and a half. Unification now taken on by against the running rail. Virtual Hug down the centre by Zooks. Phoenix in blue and white getting going late, and then Smokey Malone, and this time maybe from a long way off the gallop it's Zooks inside the final half. It's Zooks now by length over Phoenix. Virtual Hug this time maybe in Smokey Malone. It's Zooks is going to be home for the win. Zooks home in front. Zooks the winner. Smokey Malone, and this time maybe involved in a third of a second. Then Phoenix, Virtual Hug, the Resdev Way in Unification.
Zooks, another winning favourite on the night for Ian Williams this time. This daughter of Cowlott is too strong in the closing stages and gives Billy Lochnan a winner. He's got a very good chance with Elter Water later too. And Zooks, committed at the home bend, has come away pretty emphatically, really. Smokey Malone, I think, has just got second. It's very tight for that position. Possibly this time, maybe on the inside, has got third. But we will await the official confirmation for that position. Zooks, though, returning the 2-1 favourites here. And she's got off the mark for the winter and has done it fairly well in the end. And although it was fairly slow motion stuff, wasn't it, in the final furlong or so, nothing was really coming from the back. Smokey Malone had a very good trip through, every chance from where he was, but perhaps he's just bumped into a slightly more progressive horse at this level, at this stage. And the refitted cheek pieces that seemed to work for Zooks last time when she finished improved second have clearly worked again. She's travelled really well. And once she's been asked to quicken, has done so. Not immediately over this 1 mile 5 trip in this company. It's been fairly tepid and languid stuff in the closing stages, but she still had enough to win and has done it